Life in America is fast, stressful, and filled with constant uncertainty. Every day we hear news that makes us anxious. Economic struggles, rising bills, health issues, family problems, and an unpredictable future. Many people lie awake at night, tossing and turning, because their mind is consumed with questions. What will happen tomorrow? How will I pay the bills? What if the medical report is bad? What if I lose my job? Worry has become a constant companion for so many. But here's the truth you need to hear today. You don't have to worry about tomorrow because God already has a plan. Jesus himself addressed this very struggle in Matthew 6, verse 34, when he said, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." Each day has enough trouble of its own. Notice carefully what he is saying here. Jesus is not denying that life will bring challenges. He's not pretending there won't be difficulties. Instead, he is inviting us into freedom by teaching us not to drag tomorrow's problems into today. God gives us grace for today, not for our imagined fears of the future. And when you begin to trust this truth, your life starts to change. Think for a moment about how worry feels. It's heavy. It's draining. It's like carrying a backpack full of bricks every single day. And the weight gets heavier the more you think about what might go wrong. Worry steals your peace. It robs you of sleep. It takes away the joy of today because you are living in the fear of what might happen tomorrow. Studies show that over 80% of the things we worry about never even happen. And yet our minds act as if every what if is a real threat. The devil loves this because worry distracts you from the goodness of God. But friend, you are not meant to live this way. God has already gone ahead of you, and the future you fear is already in his hands. Jesus reminded us of this when he pointed to the birds of the air and the flowers of the field in Matthew 6. The birds don't stress about food, yet every day God provides for them. The flowers don't worry about how they will look. And yet even Solomon in all his splendor wasn't dressed like one of them. And then Jesus makes a powerful statement. Are you not much more valuable than they? If God cares so much about birds and flowers, how much more would he care for you, his beloved child? But here's where the battle really happens. Worry and faith cannot live in the same heart. Worry whispers, what if God doesn't show up for me? Faith declares, my God is faithful and he never fails. Worry says, tomorrow is too big for me to handle. Faith says, God has already gone ahead of me. Every time you choose faith over fear, you are reminding your soul that God is greater than any unknown future. That is why you must make a decision today. Will you let tomorrow's fear steal today's peace, or will you trust the one who holds your future? Jeremiah 29, verse 11, is a verse many Americans hold close to their heart, and for good reason. God says, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Notice those words. I know. You may not know what's coming tomorrow, but God already does. The doctor doesn't have the final word. The economy doesn't have the final word. The government doesn't have the final word. Only God does, and he declares that his plans for you are filled with hope and life. Romans 8, verse 28 goes even further, saying, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. Even the things that hurt, the setbacks, the disappointments, and the unanswered prayers are not wasted. God is weaving them into a greater plan that you may not see yet, but one day you will. The Bible is filled with stories of men and women who had every reason to worry, but chose faith instead. Think about Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and locked away in prison. If anyone had a reason to give up, it was Joseph. But through every trial, he chose to trust God. And in the end, Joseph realized that even the painful chapters were part of God's divine plan to place him in a position of power and save not just his family, but entire nations. Or think about the Israelites in the wilderness. God gave them manna every day, just enough for that day, not a week's supply, not a month's supply, but daily bread. Why? Because he was teaching them to trust him one day at a time. And then there is the most powerful example of all, Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Knowing the suffering that awaited him on the cross, his heart was overwhelmed with sorrow. But instead of giving in to fear, he prayed, not my will, but yours be done. That is the ultimate act of surrender, placing tomorrow fully in the Father's hands. So the question is, how do we stop worrying about tomorrow in practical ways? The first step is to start your day with prayer instead of fear. Before you even pick up your phone, before you check your emails or the news, begin with this prayer. Lord, I give you today and I trust you with tomorrow. That simple act sets your heart on faith instead of fear. Second, break your life into today's size pieces. Don't try to solve next month's problems right now. Focus on the assignment God has placed in front of you today. Third, declare God's promises out loud. When fear speaks loudly in your head, your faith must speak louder. Say verses like Isaiah 41 verse 10. Do not fear, for I am with you. I will strengthen you and help you. Speaking God's truth pushes out the lies of worry. Fourth, replace worry with gratitude. Each night, write down 3 blessings. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already in your hands. And finally, take small steps of faith. Every time you move forward in obedience, even when you're afraid, you are proving to your heart that God's strength is real. Now imagine what your life would look like if you truly believe this. Imagine waking up tomorrow without the knot of anxiety in your stomach. Imagine going to work with peace in your heart, facing challenges with courage, and knowing deep down, God has already gone ahead of me. That kind of peace is not just a dream. It's the very peace Jesus promised in John 14, verse 27, when he said, Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. This peace is not based on your circumstances, not on your paycheck, not on the economy, not on what the news says. It is based on the unchanging love of God. Friend, worry will always try to steal your joy, but you don't have to let it win. Tomorrow isn't something to fear. It's something to trust God with. He already knows the path. He already knows your needs. He already has a plan. Stop carrying the weight of tomorrow on your shoulders and place it back into the hands of the one who never fails. If this message has given you hope today, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who is struggling with worry and fear. You never know whose life might be changed by hearing the simple truth that God has a plan. And before you go, take a moment to subscribe and join this community of faith and encouragement. Together, we're choosing to live not in fear, but in trust, not in worry, but in peace, not in despair, but in hope. So remember this. The future is not unknown. It is already written by God. Do not worry about tomorrow, because the one who holds tomorrow is holding you today.